Hi Pisces, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome back, and welcome to those of you who are new here. My name is Jackie, and I post weekly messages for all of the signs. I combine tarot, astrology, numerology, and psychology, and I always recommend that you check out your rising sign, then your sun sign, and then your moon sign in that order. If you have some extra time, check out your Venus placement as well. Of course, it's only if you know your placements. If you know your time of birth, you can use any of the free birth chart calculators online to find out your placements. But remember, if you use that 12 o'clock default, you might not get accurate information. Okay, because our rising sign changes, and I'm being generous when I say every 60 to 90 minutes. So just something to keep in mind. But anyway, Pisces energy, welcome, welcome. So let's get right into this. We're going to pull some oracles. We're going to pull a Celtic cross spread, and then we're going to do a relationship read. I'm not going to break it into the different versions of relationships like I did last week, just because I don't have as much time this week. I always give you guys whatever I can afford, right, as far as my schedule goes. So let's pull. We have cycles, we have rejection, and we have temptation. Pisces, okay. Let's see what else we have. Why don't we pull a good tarot? Let's pull a few clarifiers here. Let's see. So the stars of the week, what's going on? Venus and Virgo, Sun entering Leo, hanging out in there with Mars, and then we have the full moon in Aquarius hitting this week. So Venus and Virgo energy, you guys are going to be feeling that, Pisces, in your 7th house. The 7th house is all about relationships, marriage, contracts, business partners, things being equal, right? Because Venus rules it, rules that energy, right? It's the home of Libra, which is all about what's fair, what's not fair, and also like your interpersonal style when it comes to dealing with your marriage partner, a serious relationship partner, or even a business partner, right? So that Venus and Virgo energy is the 9 of coins, my friends. I mean, it just is, and it's going to be here for a month. So this is going to be focusing on a lot of whatever you're focusing on, you're not losing sight of yourself, and everything needs to make sense. This is a time when we express our love for others and ourselves through practical means and gestures in the day-to-day, right? Because that's what Virgo is all about. So love needs to make sense and have a purpose here, right? And particularly you guys having this in your 7th house of relationships. You guys are going to be feeling this in a beautiful way, actually. I mean, it's just, you are. I mean, you're a mutable sign, so you're not going to be feeling it as quite as strongly as the cardinals or the fixed sign, but the other mutable signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and yourselves. You guys are not going to be feeling it as much, but in a better way. I feel like it's going to be in a better way, because you're going to be in this space where you're like, all right, love needs to make sense and have a purpose. How you show yourself self-love and self-respect needs to make sense and be for your higher good. And how you make and spend money needs to make sense right now with Venus and Virgo. If it doesn't make sense, it's going to be very easy for you to just sort of discount it, you know. But at the same time, there is this energy that is asking you to recognize there's a need for you to be of service to others. So for you guys, Pisces, if you are in any sort of business situation, if you are in a marriage, if you're in any kind of serious committed relationship, if you have any soul contract with somebody where you feel like you have a soulmate energy, and we can even have this with friends and family members, right? It's not only intimate. Be of service to that energy, meaning be grateful, be thankful, show your love, show your affection, and your appreciation for that energy as well. Obviously, if it's somebody that you have a healthy connection with, of course. But you're going to feel very sort of, don't be surprised if you feel rather like conservative as well. Conservative with money, pleasure, romance at this time. And you're going to be very inclined to analyze and dissect any matters that end up showing up in that 7th house. So dissecting that issue having to do with a contract, having to do with that issue in your marriage, right? You're going to be in that space. So, but I really like this energy. I do, even though it's opposing Neptune and Jupiter retrograde in Pisces. I feel like what's going to be happening here, you know, you have that in your 1st house of self. I feel like what's going to be happening here, it's almost like dreams are sort of bumping up against reality. And what I like about this for you is that you're going to be doing this temperature check to see what feels right and what doesn't feel right for you. All right, so that's the first thing up that I wanted to talk about, right? Because that's going to be happening on July 21st, but it's going to be rolling out until August 16th. So you know that, and then the sun entering Leo, that's going to be from the 22nd of July till August 22nd. So a lot of these energies that are hitting this week are going to kind of be rolling out for the next month, right? But we'll work the other astrology in as we go along. So we have cycles. That's being clarified by the 5 of air. Poised and tune out distractions. Wow. Okay. Pisces, I like this for you because there is a part of your life that you're recognizing is not in alignment with what you really want. There's this clash of what it is that you really want and the reality that you're living. But the reason that there's a clash is because of someone else, having to do with that relationship, that business situation, that friendship, that family situation. It's not to point fingers at anybody. It's not to do that. It's to recognize that even if you wanted to change something, you really can't, because it's not only about you, right? It's like you and another energy, and it's that tension and it's that ongoing conflict that you can't win simply because you're only half of the situation. And you can't mitigate somebody else's stuff, right? You can't fix what's not fixable within your power. So you're really better off sort of separating yourself, walking away, whatever you have to do to deal with the anger, the disappointment of something. But it has to do with something that has been happening in cycles. So that relationship where you guys break up, you get back together, you break up, you get back together, you know what I mean? It's like you break up and you're not, in conversation for several months, and then all of a sudden somebody starts fishing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I found your charger behind my bed, kind of thing. It's like, really? But it's that kind of thing, if it has to do with relationships, if it has to do more with like a family situation, you smelling that cycle, here we go again, that kind of jam, and you really don't want to deal with that. But I don't feel like you're going to have a hard time just like sort of tuning it all out, because we have poised. Poised always means you're ready for the next thing. So you're ready for whatever like toxic nonsense is going on here. You just don't want to deal with it. And you're tuning out the distractions. I mean, just make sure that you do this in a healthy way. So you don't want to like, self-medicate or do anything like that. But I feel like such a good energy for meditating. Those of you who maybe that's not your jam, it's not for everybody. Anything that you could do to help you tune out, throw yourself into work, throw yourself in, hang out with your friends, throw yourself into some sort of hobby, something like that. And honestly, Venus and Virgo energy, you could throw yourself into working out. Virgo rules health. So Venus in Virgo has us very conscious of how we're feeling, mentally, physically, emotionally. So if you feel like you're feeling very taxed out, you may feel a little more inclined than maybe you would have several weeks ago to actually get out there and move, or, hit the gym harder, or whatever it is that you do to take care of yourself. So we have rejection, and that's being clarified by the 7 of air. Interesting. 7 of air. So rejected by somebody who's dishonest. So, thank you, Spirit, because like bullet dodged. I don't know. But we have the 7 of air energy that's clarifying the rejection, which is dishonesty, immoral running away, overstepping boundaries, being really selfish, right? It's that moon in Aquarius. Some of you might even feel like you were duped in a way. What I mean by that is, and this doesn't only happen in intimate relationships, where somebody showed up with bells and whistles on, saying they were really interested in doing A, B, and C, getting married, opening that business, moving forward in that project, whatever it was. But they were saying one thing on the outside, but they were feeling another thing on the inside, right? That's how the moon in Aquarius can show up sometimes. And it's very, very interesting, because speaking of the moon in Aquarius, we have the full moon in Aquarius, and it's going to be in your 12th house. So you're going to be feeling this very, very strongly. You have it hanging out in there with Saturn. That 12th house, that's your home. That's all about endings and healing and closure and solitude and karma and what's hidden. And you looking at where are your limiting beliefs, right? Hanging out in that subconscious. There's going to be a lot of light illuminated on where have you been getting in your own way in the past, and where can you now push forward into the future, because it's sitting across the wheel with the sun in Leo with Mars in that 6th house. So I think this is actually very, very good for you, as far as you being able to to kind of just move forward. It's also sextiling Chiron in retrograde in Aries, in your second house of value, sense of self-worth, the money that you make. So I like that. So, but there's going to be some healing that's going on. And don't be surprised though if you feel like, why can't I just get this person off my energy, right? Because that Saturn in the 12th does that. It's like, oh, will you get off of my soul already? I know you don't belong there. But that just means like something needs to be worked through. There's a change in the wind, and then we have reach for the stars. Very nice. Change in the wind, I just, it's just going to kind of be like acceptance. I feel like there's going to be a lot of acceptance, right? The releasing of something that doesn't belong anymore. That happens a lot with the South Node in Sag transiting your 10th house. It's not only about career. Some of you might be letting go of that career, letting go of that marriage, letting go of that family connection. Because those all have to do with our... The 10th house is not only career, right? It's our reputation. It's our public image. What are we known as, right? Our long-term goals are also 10th house. So I feel like your long-term goals and what it is that you saw for yourself, that's being revisited. It is. I mean, you have Pluto in Capricorn in your 11th house. So your hopes and your wishes for the future are changing. And that South Node in Sagittarius in the 10th has you releasing. So I think this is very, very good for you. But reach for the stars. Like, don't think small in this energy. Don't think, within reason, obviously, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna manifest $5 billion for myself. I mean, I guess you can do that. I don't know how well that's gonna work out for you. But when reaching for the stars also means healing, right? Remember, the star energy is about healing. It's an Aquarius energy. You want to focus on the future in a way that's very tangible and focus on healing. Because it does seem like you've been having a bit of a hard time here. We have this idea of temptation. So I feel like you could be tempted to actually either return to or still entertain whatever energy here it is that needs to be released. This can be certainly what's going on as well. Particularly if it has to do with a relationship, just because you have Libra is transiting your 8th house of endings and beginnings right now, and the 8th house is also about our obsessions, where our obsessions lie, where our rumination, and that Libra energy is that relationship energy. So it can be that. Clarifying that though is the Ace of Air. So the Ace of Air is Ace of Swords. So this can be getting over past obstacles and getting what you want. Thoughts becoming things. So this could be totally new. Aces can be brand spanking new. Very auspicious energy for all areas of life, guys. Honestly, new beginning, fill in the blank. New beginnings, decisions, clear thinking in work, in love, any area of life. An immediate change to your circumstances, though, for the better. It's almost like a light switch is getting flicked on. You'll be very mentally agile. Assertiveness is going to bring you the success that you want in whatever it is that's on your heart, but don't be too zealous. You don't want to be, you don't want to be aggressive. You want to be assertive, right? That's this kind of energy. But I like this because I feel like the temptation is something sort of tinkering with the past. And it's like, no, Pisces, you need something new. You need something new. By the book. You know what by the book means? First you take a step with your right foot, then with your left, then with your right, then with your left again. It's building blocks. It's recognizing, like, if you're feeling a lot of disappointment, a lot of rumination, a lot of pain over some situation that didn't work out for you, and going back, you're feeling tempted to call that person up or see if you can revisit a certain situation because you feel like it would make you feel better. Think broader than that. Think longer term. I think really at the end of the day, do I really think that that is what I want? Do I really think that that's actually healthy for me? Or is that actually self-sabotaging myself by going back to that thing? And recognizing, okay, it might hurt in the short term. It might be really difficult for me now. I still might be in the fog. but one step at a time, I'm going to get there. And that's how you really like need to do it. Live your soul, not a role. Very important too. Love that. Love that. Like, what are you really feeling in your heart right now? What is your soul telling you that you want to do? What do you want to be in relationship, in career, in that family situation? What is your soul telling you that you need to do? Well, the only way to get there and do that is by going one step at a time into the future, and not allow there to be this sort of overwhelming energy that makes you want to run back to something, Pisces, because I am feeling, with the Scorpio transiting, it's sitting in your 9th house of belief system right now, which has to do with, again, a lot of rumination, a lot of anxiety. You might be like, I don't know. I feel like my belief system is changing. I feel like what I thought at one point, I don't know what I believe anymore, what I believe in anymore. For a lot of you, it's going to be like, Scorpio rules endings and beginnings and transformation. Maybe I want to return to that relationship. I want to return to that thing and see, what's there. Maybe we could do it different this time. So some of you can easily be in that place because you have Scorpio sitting in that 9th house for you, which is your belief system, your ethics, your personal philosophy. There's a lot that's changing there. All right, so let's pull the Celtic cross spread. And I'm just going to connect this to all areas of life. Maybe take what resonates throughout the rest. This is not a personal reading. So that full moon in Aquarius, it's hitting on the 23rd. The Leo sun, which is going to be sitting across the wheel, is very proud and intensely individual and doesn't really like hanging with the team. It's very like a me energy, whereas that Aquarius moon does value, while it does value independence and being an individual and all of that, it does recognize the need for people. But there's going to be this little square off here. There's going to be this little square off between, what it is that you do alone and where it is that you need other people. And the thing is here, the moon can feel kind of stuck because it's between Pluto, which is about transformation, and Saturn, which is about responsibility. So it's like this need to change and your responsibilities, and this squaring off between you wanting to do what you want to do and then needing to consider other people. So don't be surprised if you're in that space. Okay. 6 of Cups in the reverse. Hierophant. The advice here is don't make any big decisions because things feel up in the air in one part of your life here. So we have the 3 of Pentacles coming into this energy in the past. So you feeling like you were able to grow in something, that job, that relationship, that friendship, that family connection, whatever it is. 3 of Pentacles, it's a nice energy, right? It's about collaborating and coming together and being able to launch something, right? Allowing your talents to shine, allowing the best version of yourself to move forward and be able to really build something. So this could be grow a relationship, grow in a job. This could also have to do with a successful launch of something. Maybe you're doing something with your home, improving your home, selling your home, something like that. Really good energy though coming into this. But where are you at right now? You're at the 6 of Cups in reverse, which is about living in the past and being maybe having unrealistic expectations right now, Pisces. You might have something on your heart and you're just like, I don't, this is really what I want, but is it based in reality? Like it may be based in reality, but it's meaning more like is the potential for the level of success having to do with that situation as realistic as maybe you're projecting onto it. You know what I mean? And we have the Hierophant is what's challenging it. This is the current challenge, is the Hierophant. So this has to do with marriage. So maybe somebody doesn't want to get married. Maybe somebody does want to get married. Maybe somebody that you're dealing with is married. Okay, so for some of you, it can be that. But this really has to do about ultimately being able to commit to something. And emotional development and expectations and conforming, right? So it's like the Hierophant energy is anyway, in astrology, it's Taurus, right? But in numerology, it's Temperance. So it's like something needing to be balanced out, right? It's like something is off balance and something needs to be balanced out. So something is in balance, but the thing is, it's like, you feel like no matter how hard you tried to work at something, it ended up not really working out for you, but you might be sort of challenged in the moment by some sort of situation that currently keeps sort of recycling itself. Some sort of difficult memories of the past can make you feel stuck or held back in your ability to really like move forward right now. So it's like a lot of the past is coming back, but yet I'm getting that there's some sort of like unrealistic expectations maybe about the past, and however that would resonate with you. Now the basis of the situation is the Queen of Cups, and we have that working with the Justice energy is the current situation. So the Queen of Cups is, first of all, it's a very loving energy, but in astrology it's Gemini and Cancer. So there's this conversation. Gemini is about conversation, communication, and Cancer is about homes. You might be having some sort of discussion about a living situation, living conditions. It could be that, but it could also be having a conversation about what's needed to feel grounded, rooted, safe, and secure, right? Because that's what that Cancer energy is. Not being afraid of intimacy, knowing what it takes, right, to actually make something work. But it's a very loving energy, right? This is really about falling in love, deepening of love, emotional honesty, about, again, what's needed to make something work. And then we have the current situation as Justice. So this is about fairness, right? And this is exactly where the Venus and Virgo energy is for you right now. So what's fair, what's not fair, having to do with that business contract, that relationship, whatever it is. So if this has to do with a relationship, balance and fairness are really important for you to look at right now, because remember, it's a Venus energy, and Venus wants everything to feel equitable in connection. You want to make sure that your emotional needs are being met. This is really important for you right now. Now, the truth can come out about something, but in a way that ends up inciting balance. Some sort of win-win situation is something you're going after. But you're looking for fairness, or at least looking at things and asking and answering how present is fairness and things that are equitable in a situation here. Could be that. Now, if this has to do with career or money, you might feel or experience some sort of challenging situation that feels like a test. So maybe you're having this conversation about what it is that you want, need, and desire, even to yourself maybe, recognizing, sort of saying, bottom line, this is what I want and need, right? But you might feel like you're being tested right now. But getting this energy, it means that things are going to go well and in your favor. Any kind of negotiation, any kind of interview, any kind of situation at all where there needs to be a meeting of the minds needed is going to go well for you. If money's been an issue, things are going to improve. I like this. Any sort of legal issue, any sort of situation with property of all kinds, that can be resolved here. If papers need to be signed, things will progress nicely. Because remember, the Justice energy is Libra, and Libra has to do with the lower courts. So it would be that as well. So let's take a look at this suggested approach. 7 of Cups, choices and confusion. You need to look at this, right? Look at who has the commitment issue here. Like, are you trying to sell something, launch something, work something out in a relationship, something going on? What's going on with the idea of commitment? Because I feel like you're not sure what's real, what's not. Things can feel up in the air, but you do feel like you're at the beginning stages of something new. So either a new stage in relationship, a new relationship, some sort of new business venture, some sort of new situation going on with your family, something new is right there, but everything's up in the air. So when things are up in the air, probably not the best time to go in and make decisions. So pay attention to your instincts and emotions, right? That's a Venus and Scorpio energy. So Scorpio is all about endings and beginnings. So there's definitely some sort of transformation, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, having to do with relationship and or money and or your sense of self-worth and self-value, as you feel like there's this change going on, but you're not sure where it's all landing. It can be very confusing. And look, I mean, you have Neptune and Jupiter retrograde in your first house of self, right? Which is like your identity, your approach to life, your attitude. You have your ruler. Yeah, okay, you guys hang out together all the time, but it's like very amped up in that first house of self. So don't be surprised if you're just not 100% sure of things right now. It's not going to stay there, don't worry. But right now you might be experiencing a bit of confusion there. So we have the external energy to you, Two of Swords. So this could be a person that you're dealing with, or just the energy surrounding you. Two of Swords is somebody, this is like emotional stalemate. Somebody's got to make a decision. Somebody's going to make a decision here that you're dealing with. They want to protect themselves, but the situation's not going away. So it's almost like something that you're engaged in with another person. They have to figure out what they're going to do. They have to say what they think. They have to say whatever it is they need to say and get it out. Right? They have to get it out. This is almost like you're kind of in this space of wondering, of just not really knowing like what's going on. Now that if you're not dealing with a person, and obviously you're going to know how it resonates with you, this might be you, the energy of feeling like you're in an emotional stalemate, having to deal with a particular situation in your life, or maybe two situations, who knows, Pisces, right? You might just have a general vibe of confusion. I'm only saying that because you have that Neptune and Jupiter retrograde in your first house of self, and we have stuff going on like that in our first house of self. And we have Saturn in the 12th house with a full moon in Aquarius. You might just be like, I don't know anything right now. Please don't ask me. I know what I feel, but you can't really always trust the feelings, because those are very, they're changeable, right? I mean, they're changeable. And that's okay. Cut yourself a break if you vibe in that. So what is the challenge for you right now is the World card. I mean, that you really want the world, but this is like your fear at the same time. So it's showing up as a bit of a block. So this is like you want the happiness and fulfillment, but you're also afraid of not. You want to achieve that goal, but you're also afraid that you're not going to have it. And that fear, you want to be careful of that, right? You really want to be careful of that. Because look, in numerology, this is the Empress. This is all about growing. So you don't want to be afraid to grow in whatever it is that you're growing in. And this is the thing I'm feeling from here. Some of you say, no, what are you talking about, woman? I am putting all my energy out there. I'm throwing, caution to the wind. I'm taking chances. I'm trying to strategize and work things out. And I believe you. I do believe you. But I also feel like at the same time, there is this element of, but I feel like it's very subconscious, right? I mean, anyway, right? This is a very internal time for you right now, Pisces, anyway. But just see where that fear might not be working in your life. Because I feel like, it's like you want to move on, but you feel blocked, or you feel undeserving of success or something in career and relationship, or maybe you're holding on to something that eludes you. And if that's the case, yeah, it's time that you sit down and really redefine what it is that you want and adjust accordingly. Because you might be holding on to something at the exclusion of all else. And you have to know that even these challenges are minor. This is not a big deal. Believe it or not, I know it might feel like it to you, but energetically it's not. It just may take some time to get what is coming to you. So you really have to keep the faith. Because honestly, whenever we get the World of the Sun card, it doesn't matter if it's in a block, if it's reverse, if it's sideways, it doesn't matter. It's always positive, but sometimes it just means some delay. Now, in the near future, we have the Six of Pentacles. This is a nice energy. I like this, a nice minor arcana. This is kind of like I have your back, you have mine. It's a Moon and Taurus energy. So this has to do with property, family, inheritance, generosity, support, Could have to do with money. It doesn't have to, right? Because Pentacles is also mental, physical, and emotional connection. So if you've been struggling financially, or if you've been struggling with any sort of loneliness or lack of connection, then things are going to get better. So this could be money coming to you from maybe somebody from your past helps you out there, or somebody from your past connects with you, and you guys maybe, you know, connect in that friendship again, or somebody from your past somehow, okay? Either you offering it to them, them offering it to you. But again, it's this element of reciprocity, so it's a nice energy. And beautiful. We have the Emperor as the outcome. So this is Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. This is a leadership energy, for sure. So for those of you in relationship, if you're single, you might be meeting somebody new who's awesome, who values tradition. It's like you guys see things very similarly. Those of you in relationship, if you are having a hard time, this indicates like you sitting down and talking about future plans in a very practical way and addressing the current relationship in a very like pragmatic and healthy way. If this has to do with career or money, this is finances getting organized and balance happening in that area for you. The only thing that I want to like sort of, I would say warn you about, but keep this in mind, that if you're doing something that doesn't motivate you or impassion you, you can easily feel stifled in this energy, because you are so ready to grow. You're so ready to do more than you are right now. So you might be feeling very, very hungry. And you're also not, if you're in a job where, I mean, things might be going pretty smoothly overall, but just keep in mind, it's very important to set boundaries and protect your vision and what's yours. Having to do with money, or having to do with some sort of idea or concept in work. I don't know why I'm being called to say that. But like leadership, like own business, being the head of something, being the boss, being something like that, that's an energy that's really going to be feeding into you right now. So, I mean, I do like that. I kind of do. I mean, I like it because we have the nodal axis going on between your 10th and your 4th house. So the career energy, I like it. There's a lot of healing going on in your house of money and things that matter to you with that Chiron retrograde. And with that Sun in Leo and that Mars in Leo, Mars rules the Emperor. This is happening in your 6th house of your day-to-day work life. Your work habits, your sense of usefulness, your ability to be of service to people. So I feel like a lot of you are in this space where you're very ready to just sort of jump out there and do something new, different, better. I don't know, something like that, depending on what your situation is. Let's just pull a couple of closing energy. King of Wands, all right. Yeah, see? Yep. Yeah, you ready for something new? Ace of Wands. King of Wands, it's like you have all of this creativity, you have all of this spirit in you, you have all of this drive, right? But there's something that doesn't feel right about a situation. You want to be careful not allowing the idea of perfectionism with the King of Wands to get in the way, because nothing's like, what's perfect? You know, nothing's really perfect, right? But you identifying that something doesn't feel right. And we have the Ace of Wands, which is very auspicious for all areas of life. New beginnings, new enterprise, creative projects, coming up with great ideas. This is an energy of virility as well. So being able to, oh, by the way, be very careful if you don't want to get pregnant. I mean, this is a very, very fertile month. Very fertile. So just throwing that out there, depending on where you're at in your life. But Ace of Wands, also a new chapter of passion and motivation. We have the Eight of Pentacles. The 8 is the number of mastery, focusing on responsibility in a really just like clear and diligent way. You're putting in the hard work, knowing it's going to pay you off. You're being very, very patient. There's so much potential for success here. I really like it. Now, honestly, this could have to do with a relationship. This could even have to do with work. I mean, honestly, you could just apply it however. The Devil is coming up here for us. Need to look at where something is shackled in this connection. So if this has to do with career or money, you might be experiencing some sort of unfair contract or doing whatever it is that you're doing. It's just not really very satisfying anymore. It could be because of a toxic work environment, a really domineering boss, just messy energy at work, but maybe you stay because you have to for the moment. But this, you're going to be looking at this. If this has to do with relationship, this could be a difficult relationship indicated here. Maybe somebody's very controlling. Maybe there was some sort of cheating, some sort of codependent patternings. For those of you who are in a separated situation, the devil energy makes you financially dependent, or any other kind of like ongoing money or property issue ends up keeping you tied to the past. But it's like the shackling, right? The shackling energy that you're feeling. Then we have the Three of Cups, which is about feeling very supported, and the Two of Wands, very nice. So this is, this is a new romantic partnership, possibly through work or friends. For those of you who are single, maybe you're meeting them out when you're having some drinks with friends, because this is celebratory, hanging with your friends. This has to do with healing and creation. So that's three is a very nice energy to start a new relationship. But there are two aspects to a situation that you're trying to figure out. You know, it might be between two people, two jobs, two homes, two something. But the Two of Wands is about making plans and moving forward, right? And you're gaining influence in something having to do with, maybe if it has to do with work, it's your particular approach to something and what you bring to the table. And so you're getting attention and you're gaining influence, which is great. But you're being pushed to maybe advance yourself or really sort of lean into that talent, gift, or ability, whatever it is, but you might feel a little confused about it. You just want to figure out what situation, whether it has to do with relationship, career, whatever it is, which situation best maximizes and meets either your skill set or what it is that you want. And that it does come down to that. But I do feel like there's going to be some sort of decision that you're going to need to be making here, you know. You might have a hard time with it only because, you know, in that house of endings and beginnings, you have Libra, and Libra's like, you know, that analysis paralysis energy, overthinking everything, you know. But I do like it. Okay, so that's what I have for that part of your reading. And now let's close this up. Let's pull some cards for, do you want to pull that? Let's pull for relationship. I'm going to pull a 7-card ellipse, the Sun, 6 of Wands, Empress reverse. Here. So this is not for any specific singles, you know, coupled, complicated. I'm just going to read whatever I'm seeing here. I'll give different interpretations of it. But we have in the past the Sun. I mean, the Sun is a beautiful connection. There's no question. You know, it's a beautiful connection, the Sun. And the Sun rules Leo, which is, you know, Leo rules the 5th house of romance, falling in love, love affairs. So, you know, that's beautiful energy there. And then we have the 6 of Wands. You know, 6 of Wands is a great energy in relationships. It's like feelings are shared, well received, really good communication coming in. It brings that deepening of connection. Very nice energy. Very nice. Okay, but what's in the near future? We have the Empress reverse. The Empress reverse is about, this could be financial or domestic issues that end up creating some kind of disruptive stress. So there could be some issues with fertility, you know, some sort of sexual dysfunction. There could be issues growing the relationship to that next level, you know, moving in together, buying the home, getting married, getting engaged, buying that house, buying that business, whatever that next level would be, you know. But it being that very tough situation, not being able to like move forward. And there's this idea of dependence as well. And there might be some, you know, again, like having to do with the resource. It might just be an issue where something is limited in a particular way for right now. But we have the advice energy, which is the wheel. So in numerology, this has to do with the Magician, just straight up Mercury, and the Sun. It's very interesting. Oh my gosh, because the Magician's about communication and problem solving, right? Because the Magician is straight Mercury. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Okay. And the Sun rules Leo, which is about falling in love affairs, romance. So there's got to be some sort of communication to solve problems where there's a deepening of an understanding. But because it's the wheel, many of you might be feeling like this, like fate is at play, and there's some sort of turning point happening where you feel like this overwhelming urge to talk to somebody that you haven't been with for a while, and where you're feeling like you need to take the chance, because this is a turning to someone or something from the past, right? But it's almost like they magically sort of reappeared in your energy. So this could be an ex-love interest or partner, or even somebody that you were friends with once upon a time, you know, and they come back into your life and things just feel different. But you need to think about that last go around. And if you think your connection has good enough bones and a strong enough foundation to make it work this time, if so, awesome. Because Jupiter is going to bless it. It's Jupiter energy. If not, and you know deep down that you're trying to fit a circle in a square, then chances are it's not going to go smoothly. That's going to be for some of you. For others of you, you may need to be in the mental space of healing something here, right? Of healing something, because the wheel is not only about revisiting the past, it's about it, you know, literally in the 3D, it's about revisiting it mentally as well. And so then there may need to be something from the past that you're dealing with that needs to be reconciled, you know. But it's a positive energy nonetheless. It's very healthy. Okay, external and other, here we go, 8 of Wands. So somebody may have reached out to you, or this could just be the energy surrounding you. The 8 of Wands is about good news coming in, lots of busy communication. I mean, and this is really good if you've been feeling held back, especially if you guys have been separated. Okay, but what is the challenge here? What's the block? The block is the 8 of Cups. But because it's in your block, it's like you're fully learning from the past. You're fully learning from the past. You're having a very hard time letting something go. You're having a very hard time accepting that something doesn't feel right anymore. You know, maybe it didn't work out, but it's like you can't let that last bit go. Right? I mean, and it could be the kind of thing where you thought you did for a hot minute, and then you're like, whoa, okay, here I go again. Queen of Cups is the final outcome here. Beautiful. Gemini and Cancer energy. High emotional intelligence, not afraid of intimacy. Falling in love, deepening of love, emotional honesty. Wow, okay. And for those of you in separation, and I know some of you are like, no, then don't go back to that person. If that person was a messy energy, then I'm so sorry, this is not your reading. But I feel like some of you may actually like be together, right? Things are good. You guys are like, you know, communicating all of that, but you might be having a hard time getting pregnant, buying a house. You might be having some financial issues, you know, external things, like not about like necessarily the two of you. But I feel like what I like about the wheel here, it's like, okay, recognize that fate is doing her thing and you guys have reached a turning point. So there needs to be like some other type of manifesting. This is like when we say the Magician and the Sun, you got to sit down and have that conversation and problem solve, right? Because it's the Magician. And the Sun is about recognizing that you have all the tools you need in the toolbox to make something happen. So something's not as bad as it seems. It does seem like. Okay. The Moon. Yeah, so the Moon, I mean, this tells me there might be some confusion and disappointment where you feel like, you know, somebody let you down, or maybe they feel like you let them down, maybe you let each other down. And there's not this 100% trust in the relationship being able to actually work out or go the long term. You're just not sure. We have the Death reverse. So the Death reverse is about you feeling unwilling to let this person go or the situation go, which can create a lot of anxiety or obsessive thoughts for you. And it's, guys, honestly, and somebody needs to hear this, if you're like, I am so much smarter than this, I know A, B, and C, whatever's happening here is so fated. If you feel pulled back to a past energy, fate is at work for some reason, whether it's to revisit, to get back with them, or revisit to release. But it does seem like something is going on here. And as painful as it is, it does seem like there needs to be an understanding that something has reached its expiration date in your life, at least in the way that it was. And there's nothing that you could do about it but accept the situation for what it was, for what it is, look for the lesson in all of it, and allow the release, and be kind to yourself. Let it happen in layers. It's okay to feel bummed out about this. It's okay to feel broken for a little while. It's okay to feel all of those things, right? But the thing is this, like release from this energy is necessary at least for a while. This isn't like the Tower, right? This is the Death energy is about an ending so that there could be a new beginning. But recognizing that that space is very, very needed here. Ten of Swords. This is an ending here, but there's a history to some really challenging, unhealthy error that you had with this person, and it's finally over. It's done. And even if it's painful, at least it releases you from frustration and stress that you were feeling while you were knee deep in it. So now you can transform into a healthier energy. I have to tell you, Pisces, I'm feeling some of you are going to be reconnecting and like in a whole new way. Others of you are going to just, in the most beautiful way, going to be working on very successfully releasing somebody from your energy. It depends on what else is happening in your chart and in your life right now. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse, unrealistic expectations. We have the Judgment reverse. This isn't like you feeling stuck in the past or you refusing to learn a lesson that's there for you to learn, Pisces. You might find yourself in old patterns, but you're not ready to break free just yet. So this can indicate delays, or you feeling kind of trapped, unable to move forward without really understanding why. Like trying, doing all the things that you're supposed to be doing, all of that, but why do you still feel this element of stuckness? You know? So the best thing to do here is just accept whatever happened. Be so kind to yourself. Have compassion for yourself, for them. Whatever happened, you don't have to live with the results of the past in the future, right? You could decide to make the decision to leave that back there and be free. Not so easy, I understand that, but we have the beautiful Magician, right? Mercury. Here we go. Gemini, Virgo. The Eight of Coins in the reverse, right? Now, this is the thing. There's this element where you really want to try to work on something, but I feel like your energy is almost kind of scattered. And there's this focus on that something needs to be perfect. You wondering if you're perfect, you expecting a situation to be perfect, where it's like, well, they did A, B, and C to me. So if they want to come back to me, they better say this, they better say this, they better say this, or they better not even pick the phone up or even try texting me a letter. Nothing, right? That could be that kind of energy as well. So it's confusing, you know, Virgo. Virgo. Oh, you're dealing with a Virgo? Pisces. I was looking at the Magician. It's like you might be feeling like somebody wants to work, or you might be feeling like somebody wants to work something out and have this healing, which is beautiful. I mean, this is you being destined to be with somebody. It's time to figure it out. For those of you who are single, this is time for you to find a soulmate. But this is like fate. This is another fate energy. Change for the better after a difficult time. Very nice. It's Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. It's about the future. Thinking about the future. What happened in the past. All right, that's it. Time for us to move on. We have the Tower reverse. Yeah, I mean, first of all, don't blame yourself for anything that's gone on here, wholly so, right? Because you might find yourself taking responsibility for everything, even if it's not all of your responsibility for something that happened here. But this can also indicate you holding on to the relationship and it's just not being strong enough to stand the test of time. And if you're clinging to anything from the past in order to protect yourself from the reality of where you're at right now, that's not going to work in your favor, right? Because the collapse of whatever's been going on is inevitable. So you can't feel responsibility wholly so for all of this. This is like forces outside your control. Even if it's like the impact of this realization can feel very sort of dramatic in your energy. But there's like healing here. King of Cups, yeah. You need to settle some sort of conflict within yourself and with somebody else. This is like very necessary. Beautiful. 9 of Cups. Listen. There's got to be, in relationship, there's got to be some sort of release of something. But in the release of something, if you are interested in revisiting something, there can't be this mindset of something needing to be perfect, because that's just putting unrealistic expectations onto the relationship, and that's not going to bode well. There's got to be full-blown old school healing here through honest conversation. You did this, it made me feel this way, and we need to figure that out, and they need to say the same thing to you, and it's got to be that reciprocity, right? Because I'm not feeling like, for those of you thinking about going back to a connection that you were involved in, it does seem like there were healthy bones to that situation. If there weren't healthy bones, I don't recommend this, because you're going to end up getting back into that same cycle. Okay? Because it does seem like once you settle the conflict, you're able to be happy. So some of you may be returning to issues in the past and settling that conflict just by yourself. Maybe you and a therapist doing some shadow work, whatever it is. You dealing with that, that's what's going to actually make your heart happy. For others of you, having a very open and honest conversation is what's necessary for you guys to be happy together. But it does look like there are some disappointments, some challenges, some, pulling away and then coming back to each other again. It does seem like there's some cyclical energy that's happening here. So that's what I have for you guys. I hope this was helpful in some way. It's only for, just for the week, 16th to the 23rd. And you guys have a very blessed week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.